Hey guys, welcome to another episode by Amber Unfiltered. So, girl, I think this is video number 4 or 5. I'm just saying, y'all better be hyping me up in the comments because I be doing my thing, but I be like, hello, is anyone out there? So, hopefully, I don't run out of storage, but if I do, I'm sorry in advance. So, I wanted to talk to y'all about Fallout Season 2, but before I do that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you want to cash out me at Amber Unfiltered Show, that'd be greatly appreciated. So, girl, okay. I am not feeling Fallout Season 2. I hate to say that. I don't like shitting on art because I know how much it takes to make TV and film, but it's not giving this season. I was like, okay, there's so many things that I feel like is wrong. The writing is not as strong as it is. The character decisions and the character development is not as strong. I think I usually have a lot more questions when I watch an episode than I do answers, and I don't feel like I know where the characters are headed. I don't feel like I know where the story is headed, and I don't feel like I know where the final resolution will be. Like, for instance, I feel like they'll introduce a character or a storyline or a subplot or a sub-storyline, B-storyline, whatever you want to call it, and then it doesn't really tie it up. It just leaves more mystery. It leaves more hanging in the air. And I was like, I think you can do that, but you need to address or answer or acknowledge it in some way, even if it's not 100%, even if it's 25%, 50%, whatever. Like, for instance, the Ghoul, or Cooper Howard, like, they do a lot of flashback sequences, but they don't really fill in the gaps for me. They just leave me more confused. So what I mean is, an example of this is, I forget which episode it is. Was it 4? Was it 4 or 5? It was one of the most recent episodes because the new season is like streaming right now. But like, there was a scene where, I'm trying to think, where he goes back in time and the guy that he's supposed to kill, God, I can't even remember his name. He basically tells him that it's not, what's the guy's name? The villain's name. Oh my God, he basically is like, you might be the reason why the world ended the way that it does, or ends the way that it does, because we think that it's the Ghoul's wife or Cooper Howard's wife, but there's an unforeseen variable that impacts New Vegas or the post-apocalyptic world that we see now. But like, it didn't really add anything. And then we see him in the present day and it's just as confusing. It didn't really add context. I think flashbacks serve the story in a way of that they kind of give layers and they kind of show you the dimension or the depth of that character. I just feel confused. Even with Maximus and, is it Lucy? No, is it Lucy? Oh my God, I'm drawing no, I don't think that's her name, is it? Hold on. I'm drawing such a hard blank. This is so bad because I watched this. Yeah, Lucy. Okay, I thought I had the name wrong. But like, they showed in the beginning of the season, like, Lucy and her dad basically going corrupt. Like, it shows her as a kid and then he kind of goes left or right. And then we see Maximus with his parents while they were still living, and then his whole world gets blown up, literally and figuratively. But we see characters make decisions. I think the characters are making decisions that don't make sense for me, and I can't say much because I don't really know the lore about the games. I never played the games. I didn't know about it until my husband actually was the one that introduced me to it and was like, hey, do you want to watch this? And I was like, sure, I'll give it a chance. I'm willing to give anything a chance if it makes sense, you know? But like, what was I gonna say? It's not as interesting. I think it's just a lot of filter and fluff. And Maximus, I'm like, what path is he going down? I feel like he was a little bit aloof and he was a little bit like stumbling, but it kind of made sense because he was trying to figure out where he fit into the brotherhood. He was trying to find a place where he belonged, like in society and in society and just like in that core group or that organization. And I think the characters were much more lovable. I don't really find any of the characters likable, let alone lovable. Like, the Ghoul, it's kind of like they just on repeat. The Ghoul does the same thing. Maximus just keeps stumbling, keeps making more he's just smearing shit everywhere instead of cleaning the shit up. And then Lucy is she's almost turning into the Ghoul. And I was like, I think I would have loved to see the drug storyline. Didn't really make sense, like her kind of becoming addicted or high. I was just like, that's not Lucy. Like, Lucy is, I think they're trying to change her into something that she's not fundamentally. And I feel like I'm just bored. Like, I'm like, this isn't exciting. Like, there's nothing to root for. There's nothing to look forward to for the next week, which sucks. I hate to call anything boring because, again, art is very subjective, right? Like, it's opinion-based, it's preference-based, it's perception-based. But I'm just like, it's not really giving. I think the most interesting storyline is Norm, the brother that's in the bunker with the corrupt leader of the, is it Bunker 32 or 33? I can't remember, or 31, I can't remember. The lady with the eye patch that looked like the lady from Kill Bill, the nurse that was like, sorry, I gotta do the whistle. I love that whistle. That lady was cool. Also, I love Kill Bill. Kill Bill Volume 2 is one of my movies. Like, she is, Uma Thurman is my girl. Also, Uma Thurman is a baddie, okay? But yeah, it just doesn't really make sense. It's not as entertaining. I think there was, every week with season 1, it was just like much more, the stakes were definitely higher, and you were like really rooting for the characters. And there was like the perfect blend of comedy, there was the perfect blend of drama, there was a perfect blend of tension and like suspense even. And I think they're just spoon feeding us. And I was like, I don't know if the same team is working on this. I'm gonna assume that they are. I can't really remember the credits or anything. I haven't watched it in like a good week or two. And we even got behind. We got like 2 or 3 weeks behind, which, if you know us, we're avid TV watchers. Once we're hooked into something or onto something, like watching something, we're pretty consistent with it. But I don't know if we just had stuff going on, but we were just kind of behind. No, I think we were watching Better Call Saul. That's probably what it was. But I don't know. The plot is falling apart for me. The story is falling apart for me. Like, I was like, if they do a season 3, I'm probably not going to watch it. I don't know. I think it's just going for shock value. It feels very formulaic. It feels a little hollow, I think, is to me. And I think that Walton Goggins is a phenomenal talent. I think that Ella Purnell is a phenomenal talent, as well as Aaron Moten. Like, they stand out to me in the show. I don't know. Nothing really makes sense in this world. I'm like, what is the big reveal? What are we gonna get ourselves into? What are the characters gonna get themselves into? And it's like cyclical. Like, Lucy tries to win by being empathetic and by being like the sweet charming girl next door. Then she's captured and the ghoul has to save her. It's just like a repeat. And I was like, I get that they tried to give her something different with her being hooked on the drugs or whatever, but that didn't really do it for me, because it didn't really feel realistic, or it didn't really feel like something Lucy would do. And then she's killing too, and I'm like, that's not her. She always tries to find a peaceful solution, a peaceful exit, or a peaceful compromise, and I was like, that's not really her. The ghoul is becoming a little sentimental and soft, which is kind of hard to see. I think he does have a soft spot for Lucy, but I don't know. And then the dad, I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. Like, Lucy's dad, is it Hank? I think it is. I don't know if I said his name correctly, but his decisions like don't really make sense. I'm like, you want to continue the work that basically exploited the human body or the vessel that you were using to do what? Like, I know why, but I'm just like, okay, that doesn't really make sense. I do think that there's some great cinematography. I think that they do a beautiful job with the set pieces and like the world building. The world building is excellent. The costumes are excellent. Like, it's very believable in that sense. But I think the characters and the action and the plot themselves need a little bit more work. I think they need to go back to the drawing board. I don't know if they're pulling entirely from the source material, like the game or whatever, or I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if maybe they're just going more creative freedom. Maybe they're trying to, maybe there's a big payoff at the end, and maybe I'm just being an impatient viewer. But I haven't really been satisfied with it. And I was like, I actually really enjoyed season 1. Like, I was very excited to hear that they got a season 2, and I was very excited to hear when it came out. And also, sidebar, I'm really excited for the last season of The Boys. I don't know, have you guys been watching that? These shows actually kind of mirror each other to me. This show also reminds me of what's another game? Damn, I had it on the tip of my tongue and now I forgot. But it reminds me of it. It kind of gives like Arcane tease, but in a different dimension or a different world a little bit in some ways. But Arcane is completely different from this. I guess maybe I'm comparing the two because of how the world is, and they're not afraid to go graphic. And the characters are very complex and layered, but also because it was based off a video game. Arcane was so good. I don't know why they fucking canceled it or why it only got 2 seasons. Like, they probably could have done several more. I think at least the 3rd, maybe a 4th. Like, 3rd probably would have been perfect. Like, would have been the sweet spot. That way they could have expanded it, because they definitely rushed the ending. But I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I'm ready for this to end so I can watch some other stuff. But I'm hoping it gets better. I think the acting is just falling short for me too. Like, it's not as emotionally compelling or riveting as it used to be. And I think that's the biggest problem that I have with it. Like, I love Aaron Moten's performance. I love Ella Purnell's performance. And I love Walton Goggins. He can literally play anything. Also, I think he kind of fine a little bit. He kind of fine for an older white guy. I'm sorry. He got that. There's something about him. He got that swag or something. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I love Lucy and Maximus. They're like juxtapositions of each other, but then their core values align, which I absolutely love. I think again, like I said, the most interesting is like the bunker storyline, and then Lucy's brother breaking out of the bunker, and then all the drama that he's having with the people that he woke up from like the cryo state. I think that is really the most interesting things to me. The whole brotherhood thing, Maximus trying to kill the leader of the brotherhood. I was like, what the hell? Like Maximus is like, I don't even want to say goofy. He's just like inexperienced. He's like almost naive in a sense, but like he had a pure heart. I think that's why I really liked him. But then it's like he's doing shit that doesn't really align again with who his character is. But I guess if you're in situations with your back against the wall, what would you really do? So I guess maybe it's exploring that. Maybe that's how they feel like the characters should develop or should navigate this world and navigate their new circumstances. But anyways, do you guys like season 2? Are you watching it? Are you planning on watching it? Have you watched season 1? Let me know. Do you know about Fallout? It's a very interesting show. I think you guys would definitely like it. I'll tell you what it's about real quick before I jump off. Again, it is based off a video game. I think it's Bethesda Games that distributed the game. So it says, in a future post-apocalyptic Los Angeles brought about by nuclear decimation, citizens must live in underground bunkers to protect themselves from radiation, mutants, and bandits. And I also want to talk about like the costuming and like the design of like some of the creatures that appear in this, or the people that appear in this. It's very realistic. It's very believable. That's also super believable on top of the other things I mentioned. It came out in 2024, April 2024, and then they just dropped season 2. It has a pretty good cast. I think you guys will love season 1. Season 2 is slightly different. Maybe they're just going for a different feel or a different texture or a different tone. That could totally be it as well. I don't want to shit on them because I know how hard it is to get TV made, but if I had to rate this season, I'd probably say like 5.5, 6 out of 10. I was like, before it was like a 20 out of 10, but I need them to step the fuck up. And I need some real consequences and some real stakes to be introduced. Otherwise, I don't know, it's not giving, okay? But anyways, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.